Hello and welcome to another episode of Cuttin It, a podcast for barbers by barbers. Today we have arguably the most special guest, Leigh Gould, aka the boss. Welcome, Leigh.
Hello, Adam. How are you? Long time no see.
I know. How was your journey here today? Was it long?
Not really, no. Don't have too far to come, as you well know.
Just across the street. Lovely. So we're going to start with talking about, well, obviously the whole thing really, but the big question, I suppose, is how do you go from one shop all the way up to, well, 49, but we're soon to be 50.
Yeah, approaching 50. Well, I think that all started back in 2013. I mean, before that, me and Darren were barbers in our dad's shop for 19 years, and we kind of fell out of love with barbering, and we needed something to relight the fire a little bit. So we decided to open our own shop, which was probably like 3-4 miles away from my dad's shop. I think at the time, like, Darren was a bit more worried than I was. He was like, what about if we don't get any customers in, like any new shop? But I was like, we've been cutting hair 19 years in the same shop. If we haven't built up a trade in that time, then we don't deserve to be busy. So in our heads, that was the only shop we ever wanted to do. Then cutting hair in there, we got friendly with a guy, and he said he's got a shop for us in Downham Market. And we was really hesitant about doing it, but we did, and that went quite well as well. And obviously that's where we met you, Mr. Bush.
Yeah.
And as you know, that shop got really busy as well. So then we kind of got our mojo back for barbering quite a lot, and our idea was to open up like 5-chair barber shops in small towns and town centres. But cutting hair in our Downham Market shop, I was speaking to a guy who mentioned that there was a shop inside Tesco. Because I'd mentioned to him that I thought that'd be a fantastic idea with the footfall that Tesco brings, to have a shop there. So I went to have a look at the shop, prime location within Tesco, and we literally phoned them up and said, would they be interested in having a barber shop there? So again, then that took another year to get the shop open. And we thought that would be the only one that we actually have in a Tesco. But I think when we started in the shop, you kind of knew that was going to work. Like the first day, I think we did 156 haircuts. So we had to get barbers in from the other 2 shops that we already had. So you kind of knew that was going to be a busy shop. However, we did have the busiest barbers in the town in that shop. So it could have been like false economy. But I think that was after 6 months, we had 11 barbers working in the shop. And then we got invited to head office at Tesco. They liked the idea and wanted to know if we could sort of escalate it, which now we're up to 49 shops.
So with the Tesco side of things, like working inside a supermarket, what did the biggest difference for you going from the high street shop to a Tesco's? What do you think? Obviously, you've got the shoppers, the footfall there, so that obviously helps things initially. But what do you find the biggest difference between that and your sort of high street shop?
Well, I think, as you can see, like everything is going out to a retail park now. So, you've got the benefit of free parking. Like you just mentioned, the sheer footfall that Tesco's bring is absolutely amazing. So, and the high street can't rival that. And generally, you don't have any competition with other barber shops in them areas.
I think a lot of people think that Tesco's potentially are opening shops and stuff like that, and don't necessarily think that we've got owners of Gould Barbers who've been cutting hair for years, and all these self-employed barbers who are very skilled and just see the potential in being in that environment with the sheer amount of customers and, like you say, the parking and things like that, and how good that is.
I'll get asked, "Oh, are you actually a barber?" And to be honest with you, I still like cutting hair, so I'll go and cut hair on a Saturday. And again, like I like to do that because I don't expect the barbers to do a job that I can't do myself.
Yeah.
As well. So I think that's really important that they know that we can cut hair as well.
Yeah, I mean, you hear that a lot, don't you? When with people who come and work for us, and they say, "Oh, we work for this shop or these shops," and they say, "But the owners weren't barbers." I think that's a massive thing.
That is because, as again, you've been a barber for a long time, Adam, and you know how it works. We've seen it before where people have come in, businessmen try to run a shop, and that just doesn't work. You need to be a barber, in my opinion, to make a shop work.
We're a different breed.
Indeed.
So Okay, going on to barbers individually then, what is it that you look, because obviously you're heavily involved with a lot of recruitment for cool barbers. What is it that you look for in a barber?
I think there's 4 things that makes the perfect barber, and you'd think that, that's only 4 things, but trying to get them 4 things in one barber is like trying to find gold dust. So firstly, obviously, they need to be able to cut hair. Secondly, customer service is really important. You could be the best barber in the world. If your customer service is poor, that client is not coming back. Um, Reliability, again, you can be the best barber in the world, you can have the best customer service in the world, but if you don't turn up, you're useless. Absolutely useless. And appearance as well. Like, if you look pleasing on the eye, that attracts people as well. So that them 4 things, but trying to find them 4 things is very hard. Very hard.
Absolutely. Obviously, we've got 'em, the 4
Wait.
things.
Oh, yes.
So the future of barbering, obviously, it's changed over the years.
It has, yep.
Where do you think it's going?
I don't know, to be honest. I think over the 31 years that I've been a barber, that has changed dramatically. I think, barbers they're probably more skilled now than they ever have been. I think, like, so some of the work that people do is absolutely exceptional, and there's new skills that have come in, so that, new skill sets have arrived. But where it's going, I don't know. I personally think that skin fades will eventually grow out, and more scissor work will come in. As I did. My dad, I'll never forget when he'd been a barber from the 60s, and obviously in our hometown of Kings Lynn. And he said, back in the 60s, there was 19 barber shops in the town centre, and we've probably got that in Kings Lynn today again, even with the barber boom. And he said that when the Beatles came in, and they was really popular, everybody's hair went from short to longer, and there wasn't many barbers who could do that kind of style. So he said within 18 months, that one day, there was then 4 shops left in Kings Lynn.
Really?
So yeah, so it was dramatic difference. So will that happen again? I don't know. Does history repeat itself? Don't know.
There you go. Who knows? What I and in some ways dislike, a lot of the youngsters, they're very into it, aren't they? They wanna learn these new flicks and tricks. I think a lot of us more old school barbers just like the sort of classic scissor overcomb and the old way, and we probably think that a lot of it's unnecessary, but they do a lot of them do seem like they're really into what they're doing and wanna, you know.
I think skin fades has taken over people a little bit too much, though. I think I do. I think, like, you don't be a one trick pony. I think you need to be an all rounder. And I think a lot of people are struggling with their scissor work still because skin fades have been in for so long. And when longer hair does come back in, are then barbers going to be in a bit of a muddle? I don't know. Or do you evolve into the scissor work?
Yeah.
I mean, back when I first started, that was scissor work all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I I guess it might go back to that, but you just never know.
Do you think with the advancement in AI that we're gonna be having haircut robots anytime soon?
I hope so. I'd like some of them.
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah, that would be good.
No, that's not happening, is it?
But I don't think so. Um, Growing all these barbershops, what's been the most challenging part of that journey for you?
Staff.
I could have
We
answered
do
that
that
myself.
so the dad. And I think everybody out there who owns a barber shop will say exactly the same thing. Exactly the same.
It's hard work, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. That is the biggest headache we have.
And I think again, talking about like self-employed people and stuff like that, like everybody's got their flair and their ideas and stuff like that, and trying to sort of contain that into something. I think you go around the shops and you're trying to get everybody on the same page, but you've got a lot of individual characters who
Mhm.
want to do their own thing. But
Yep.
we all know that sort of consistency within the shop is so important. So you have to sort of try your best to sort of rein it in, but also give them the platform to have that flair and grow as
Yep.
well.
Yeah, exactly. I think in the beginning when we first started, staff in the shops was a nightmare, but that is getting better and better and better as we go on. I think initially when we first started, everybody was like, "Who the hell would want to work in a supermarket?" So I'm thinking, yeah, cool. You know, you've got a point. It's not for everybody. It's not deemed cool to work in the supermarket. Yeah, that's fine. But then you kind of look around at other shops and think, yeah, you'd stand in there looking cool in your shop, but you don't know haircuts.
Yeah.
And we have footfall, and our shops are busy. Again, our shops are busy if you get the right barber. So you could have a shop that's the busiest shop, busiest footfall and location in the world, but if your barbers are poor, the shop's poor. So
100%.
the standard does need to be good, and that is attracting them barbers.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I mean, it is the Tesco shops, that it is an environment that it takes a bit of time to get used to, but once people do get in there and get stuck in, they do, you know, they love it and they can see the potential of it. You know, you've got a constant supply of customers there to
Yeah.
keep you going, and ultimately allowing these people to build up their business even more. And so yeah, we're both fully aware of the challenges of running lots of barbershops, but there's obviously some rewards in there.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most rewarding part?
I think when you start a shop and then see it grow, that's really rewarding. But again, you can only do that with the barbers. So in turn, I get real satisfaction out of seeing the barbers do really well. So I want them to do really well. And with that, obviously, the shop grows. So the key is getting them good barbers, and that is rewarding when you get a great team in there, and they need to be looked after.
I mean, the team being, like I say, is everything. That atmosphere in a barbershop is everything, and especially when you're in a busy environment like Tesco's, if you've got a good team that are bouncing off each other, the atmosphere is great. It just makes everything so much
Yeah,
easier.
but I think that's any shop, whether that's in a high street, wherever. That is all about the atmosphere in a shop.
Yeah.
Like that rubs off on the customers, and if the customers enjoy the experience in there, they're coming back.
And it also means that we don't have to travel 5 hours to cut hair for 12 hours, doesn't it?
Which we're used to, don't we?
Yeah. So 50 shops this year. What's the plan? Are we stopping at 50, please? Can we stop at 50?
No,
No more shops, please.
no. We have got plans to expand again. We've now decided to go down another road, which we'll be getting out there to the public quite soon, which is going to be very exciting, I think. So yeah, we're definitely not stopping at 50.
Very cagey there. Very
Very
cagey. Ooh, keeping that close. Keeping that close. Oh, so big plans in the pipeline.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think we need to end, because it's you in particular, with a story, a funny story, a story from a barbershop.
Right.
Early
Okay.
days.
So one that springs to mind. I don't know if that's funny, but I look back on it and laugh now. So when I was in my dad's shop, I'd have been about 18, 19. And Rod, who worked in there then, Rod was in his 60s. And he always had this big bushy beard. And when he was nervous, he'd come down, he'd twiddle his beard. And so he came down and said to me, he's twiddling his beard away. And he said, Lee, I've got a bit of a problem. I said, what's happened? He said, well, there's no easy way to say it. I've just cut a bloke's ear off. And I was like, what do you mean cut his ear off? He said, yeah, I've just cut his ear off. I said, well, how much of the ear? He said, all the top. And I said, well, how did you do that? He said, well, he said, I want a bit more off around the ears. He said, my fingers were wet. And as I put my fingers on the ear slid off my fingers, and I chopped the top off. I was like, right, okay. I said, so he said he needs to go to hospital. I said, well, can we get the ear stitched back on? And he said, yeah, we would, but I've lost it. So he'd lost the top of the guy's hair. So yeah, that was
Oh, the ear was never recovered.
no, never.
Well, there we
It was
go.
gone.
Gone forever. Vanished into thin air. Fantastic. Well, I think we can wrap it up there.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. That's a nice story to go away with. Thanks ever so much, Leigh.
Lovely, thank
Thanks
you,
for
Adam.
coming. Shake the hand. Thank you.